Hey guys, I told you I would post a video showing you how to access the CVCC databases. So first you want to go to CVCC's website, and then as you scroll down, these little tabs will come up here, and what you need to do is look at Explore, and then Campus Resources, and then scroll down to Library. Okay? And when you look here, you'll see some quick links. You'll scroll down. You can do online resources or scroll down to quick links, whichever. We'll click on online resources. Okay, now there are tons of databases through here, but they usually go to specific types of majors or programs or classes. So the best one to use for, let's see, the best one to use for finding a really good article for the literary analysis is probably going to be NC Live. There may be a literary guide. I think you can use LibGuides. Let's see, there's a couple new ones in here since the last time that I've gone in here and looked. So let's just try with NC Live. So we're going to click on NC Live. Now you don't really want to click on ebook. I don't really think that you guys have the time to read full books as sources in order to write these papers. So, but feel free to use this if you'd like to read. NC Live, so you'll click on NC Live, and here you'll have to type in your username and your password. Again, if you're off campus, which I'm off campus right now, so I should be able to type in my username and password, and it should let me in. If you happen to have a library card, you can put that number in on the other side. So either way, you can get in. And so this is what NC Live looks like. And what NC Live is, it's just a database that contains credible, scholarly, academic articles. Articles that you know are legit. Because everything you look at online is not always legit, and it's not always a good source. Wikipedia is an example of that. People use Wikipedia all the time, and it's not a good source because it can be altered by anyone at any time. So when you're in NC Live and you want to type in a search, if I'm, about the lottery, if I want to think about the lottery, if I'm writing about the lottery, which you guys aren't, but that's the sample that I used in Blackboard. So I may type in, let's see, Shirley Jackson's The Lottery. Okay? And what's going to come up? You're going to have ebooks that come up, news and magazine articles, scholarly articles, journals, magazines. You can look at any of these except for the ebooks. Videos, there's none found. I wouldn't refer to any video or anything like that. But if you look, we might want to look through and see if any of these have to do with, like here. Oh, maybe here's a neat one. It says Beyond the Lottery. Biography tells fascinating story of Shirley Jackson. If you watch the other video that I posted, when you're writing a literary analysis, sometimes you have to research the author to figure out maybe if there's a motivation behind what they wrote about. And a lot of times it's really good to find out about the author in order to really make sense of what the story's about. So if we click on this, let's just say we're going to look at it. It looks like it relates to my topic. It will bring up the article, and once it brings it up, you're going to have a little abstract here, which is usually just kind of a little summary or a little bit about, what the subject is of the article. And you definitely want to have full text up here, so you want to have it in full text. And this is a fairly short article. Not all of them are that way. But let's just say that I found something in here that really fits with my outline, really fits with what I want to discuss in my paper. Let's just say I found a really good quote, like this one right here, okay? And I want to include that quote. So I'm going to make sure I've copied and pasted that somewhere so I don't lose it. But you also want to make sure that the source is cited so you don't lose it. The good thing about using the databases, especially NC Live, is that it does the citing for you. So if you go up here, You look here in the right corner, here are some little tabs. You can email the article to yourself, you can print it out, you can save it as a PDF. But here is where it says cite. This is why this database is awesome. You want to click on MLA because that's what you're working in. It'll automatically come up APA for some reason. That's not what we're working in. That's not the format or style. So you want to go to MLA and look at all these different styles. You want to go to the most recent, which is MLA 8th edition. Okay? And then boom, it gives you the works cited citation. All you have to do is copy and paste it to your Word document. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to copy that and pull up a Word document. And I'm going to paste it. Now, it's not formatted correctly. Just because I'm copying and pasting doesn't mean it's formatted correctly. Like, for instance, it needs to be, because look, it says up here that it's 9 in Verdana. So we got to make sure this is in Times New Roman. And it's 12 font. You always use 12 font. So there. That's correctly formatted. Now, when I use, oops, excuse me, I went to the wrong one. When I use that one statement or whatever that I found in there within my essay, I'm going to put this in quotes because I'm going to use it word for word. Put it in quotes, and at the very end, take out that period, and then you'd put a parentheses, and then whatever begins the citation, which is LeBlanc, and then close parentheses, period. If you look at the lottery sample literary analysis that I provided in the reading section of Blackboard in this unit, you'll see how I cited sources. Look at the works cited page and see how those sources are cited within your essay. That'll give you a really, really good idea. So like I said, the database is awesome because it cites for you. And you're only going to need one outside source and then your short story citation. Once you put the short story citation, like if we did Kate Chopin, it would be Chopin, Kate, and then story of an hour. And then we copy and paste the URL here. So that would be our two sources, but you have to make sure that you look at the checklist and look at the MLA cheat sheet in order to develop a working MLA works cited page. So you're going to need to center works cited, and then while these are formatted correctly, and again, I put URL here, but it should be the entire link like this, okay? So just remember that. Don't put the letters URL. And then you want to put them in ABC order. So I'm going to highlight, and then I'm going to go up here where it says AZ. I'm going to click on AZ, and then I'm going to click just OK. And it will flip-flop it and put it in the correct alphabetical order because this is C and this is L. And looking at this right now, that's your works cited page. That's a piece of cake to do. I used to have to write out every single comma, period, quotation mark, everything with a pencil before databases came along. So they are very helpful, and that's why I tell students to use them, because it really does a lot of the legwork for you when it comes to citing sources. And plus, you know that you have really good credible sources. So again, the databases are awesome. Now you may have to change your search terms. Like if you put this in, like if you put Kate Chopin story of an hour, you put that in, and you know, maybe there's a couple things that come up, but nothing that really, you know, specifically jumps out at you that it pertains to what you're writing about, then make sure you go in here and change the search terms. Maybe put symbols. Like if you're focusing on symbols as one of your paragraphs when analyzing the story of an hour, then let's see if something else comes up. Okay. Emotions in the story of an hour. Let's see. You've got, let's do this. Let me take Kate Chopin out. Story of an hour, symbols. Okay. You might have to play around to see what can be found. Okay. and make sure that it does relate to your short story. These should be primary sources that you're looking for. Story of an hour. Let's look up irony maybe. Okay. Okay. Chopin, the story of an hour. You can click on that. Click on some of these. They're generic generic titles here, but they may have something about irony within these articles. So you just have to kind of play around with your search terms. Okay. And if something happens where you're not able to find a source after really looking, because if I go in and find it, I'm going to direct you right back to the databases to look for, or to the database to look for your sources. But if you're trying to figure out how to find an article on conflict in Story of an Hour or something, and if it's not coming up, then let me know, and then you can start exploring online. And if you find something online, you'll need to make sure you get it approved by me first to make sure that it's not a SparkNotes or Cliffs Notes or eNotes or Wikipedia. You want to make sure that it is a credible article to use. So you still have the option of looking online, but only after you've expended all of the effort you have to find really good sources in the database. So if you have questions about NC Live or questions about how to access the database, or if you need to talk to me about a source that you found online and you'd rather use it online, just check with me first and I can look at it and tell you, yeah, that's a good one, or no, let's look a little bit further. So as always, I'm here for any questions that you have. Thank you.